Welcome to WSAZ Plus, everyone, and good evening. I'm Taylor Eaton. Thank you so much for tuning in with us as we get you caught up on your Monday night headlines to start the week. So with that, we will jump right into it. First tonight, people in Wayne have been told their water is now safe to use again and to drink again. But tonight, many community members turned out for a meeting voicing concerns. Many of them say they still have a lot of questions after oil spilled into their water supply. And our reporter, WSAZ, Luke Hamilton, just getting back from that meeting. But I'll share some video here with you real quick while we talk about what is happening as far as the latest with this situation. Tonight was the first council meeting with local leaders and also state representatives since this all started a few weeks ago when people were told do not consume the water. An order was put in place on January 16th after oil had spilled into their waterways and had gotten into their water supplies. Today, WSAZ's Hannah Bazay followed up with several people that live in the community, business owners, telling us that they're still very uneasy about using the water and drinking it, for that matter, consuming it. As far as the turnout for tonight, there were a lot of people that showed up, and each of them were given a few minutes to speak and to share their questions and hopefully get some of those answered with town leaders. They actually had to move that meeting into a larger space to be able to accommodate everyone they thought would be in attendance. Many people, though, that we spoke with have said, even though they've been told the water is okay and they were given instructions on how to flush out their water systems and clean out those lines, that they're still getting discolored water from the tap, many of them saying they're still smelling an odor associated with that as well. So even though that order has been amended, they've been told that everything is okay, they still have a lot of questions, and that was the reason for tonight's meeting. So WSAZ's Luke Hamilton is going to have a full report on what happened there. He spoke with many people that turned out for that, so he'll have a full report for us coming up on the Tri-State CW at 10 and on WSAZ at 11. And as always, you can look for his full story. If you can't tune in with us during those hours, his full story will be posted on WSAZ.com for you to read after that and in the morning as well. Now we'll pull up some more video here for you as we talk about our next story that is one of our top headlines of the night. A sentencing today for two people that are facing charges in a federal sex trafficking investigation. These two were found guilty on the charges they were facing. Today was their sentencing. Taiwan Bailey found guilty of 5 counts of sex trafficking for women. That includes a teenager. And Bailey was also charged with a count of obstruction in the case. He ended up being sentenced to 25 years in prison. Carrie Roy, who you see here on the right side of your screen, she was found guilty of charges that she was facing in that case as well. She ended up being sentenced to 10 years today. Both of their sentences are to be followed by 5 years of supervised release. But both of them facing charges in that federal investigation. Today, their sentencing hearing, and both of them are going to be facing prison time in this case as well as supervised release. Next tonight, we are going to be talking about some happenings at the state capitol in both Kentucky and in West Virginia. We're going to begin here in Kentucky, and I'll scroll over and pull up some points here as we talk about our next story. So give me just a second so I can pull those up for you here. There we go. So for those of you that are tuned in, go ahead and take a look at your screen here as we go over one of the bills that is getting some movement in the Kentucky state capitol. This legislation here, we're talking about House Bill 7. It would add an additional layer of safety for students getting on and off the school bus. It has now passed the Kentucky House of Delegates. Now moving on to the next step. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But leaders today, House representatives, many of them said if this bill saves one student's life, then this is going to be worth it. So representatives say this bill entails the following, that it would give school districts the option to add cameras to school bus stop arms. So those arms that are extended when the students are getting on and off the school bus, but it gives them the option. This is not mandatory that school districts would have to do this. This would just give them the option, if they would like to opt in, to be able to add those to provide an extra layer of safety. Now, here's an example of where they might be used. Let's say, for instance, that a school bus is stopped and someone illegally passes that bus, putting a student's life at risk. Well, then they say that that camera that is installed on that stop arm, according to this bill, that the vendor that is responsible for that camera would then be able to go in, get the information of the driver, turn that information over to law enforcement, and law enforcement would then proceed with the fine that has been proposed as part of this. That first fine, if someone is caught passing a school bus while that stop arm is out, the first fine would be $300 the first time, according to this bill. An additional offense after that would be $500. So that is the bill that has been proposed. It has passed through the House of Delegates. Now it is moving on to the Senate for their consideration, which there's the option there that they could take a look at this, make some adjustments, and then it would go through the process again. So this one has not become law, still a ways away from that, but it's one that we will be following here in the days to come at the Kentucky State Capitol. This is something that really we've seen all across the country. We've reported on it here in our region of drivers that have illegally passed a school bus, and we have seen so many of those near misses on camera from different angles of a bus. But this is just another layer that they're looking at to provide some extra protection for your students. When you send them off to school, you hope that they're going to be safe. You entrust that they're going to be safe. And so this is just going to be another, they say, tool in the toolbox to hopefully make sure that your students return home to you safely. So our next story this evening is at the West Virginia State Capitol. And our reporter, Charlie Roth, he followed up on this one for us today. It's been a hot button topic over the years in West Virginia. We are talking about that transfer rule when it comes to high school athletics in the state. And it is up for discussion again at the West Virginia State Capitol. So here's the happenings on this today. The West Virginia State Legislature now looking at a bill that would make some changes to the high school athlete transfer rules in West Virginia. So right now in the state, any student can transfer schools once and retain their eligibility without needing the approval of the WVSSAC. But under the proposed bill, any incoming juniors and seniors that are wanting to transfer and play athletics for their new school in that upcoming year would need to get permission from the West Virginia SSAC. And that's what has been proposed. Now, the executive director, we followed up with the SSAC's executive director, Wayne Ryan, and he said that he did believe that it would rein in some of those transfers and would kind of even that playing field. Something that we've also heard from the delegate that has sponsored this bill. Now, this one is also still far from becoming law. It's got a couple more hurdles to go through. The House Education Committee still needs to mark up that bill and could still make some changes and then vote on passing it to the House floor. But that has been proposed today, and it's getting a little bit of movement, but we'll see if there are changes in the days to come on this one, and we'll keep you posted on that for any families in West Virginia that have a student that might be looking at making that transfer. We'll see if that's going to affect them here in the years ahead. So we'll be following that one very closely. Also in our headlines tonight, we are still following the very latest on that national story that is gaining so much attention and so many eyes are on this one. We're talking about the story of Nancy Guthrie, the mom of Savannah Guthrie that many of you probably tune in and watch each morning on the Today Show. She has understandably been absent from the show. She has not been part of the Winter Olympics coverage because she says her focus needs to be with her family and the search for her mom that is still missing. And now we are in the second week of the search for her mother. And just today, Savannah posted this new video on her social media pages, and we'll be sharing more of that coming up at 10 and 11. But in this video, she has now put out a new plea for not just people in Tucson, Arizona, where her mom lives, but for people all over. To keep an eye out for her. And if you have any information at all, to please turn that over to law enforcement. You saw in that video, many neighbors have come out and people that just, want to send their prayers and their best wishes to the family during this time, putting a sign outside her house saying that they're praying for the family and thinking of them. But Savannah, in that video today, she just said that they're in their hour of desperation, as she called it. Just now wanting any answers at all that they can get on where their mom is, how she is doing, and what has happened to her. All questions that have not gotten any answers so far, and that's something that law enforcement, they're still working to figure out at this point, because they've said that there really haven't been any solid leads. They have no persons of interest. There have been several reported ransom notes, though, that have been sent with these deadlines and demands that have been included in them. One of the deadlines just this evening, and it has since passed, and investigators have said there's still nothing. But we're talking millions of dollars that apparently have been mentioned in these ransom notes that the investigators are saying the kidnapper or kidnappers are including as demands that they would like to see met. But they have said that there have been no signs of proof of life for Nancy Guthrie. And that was something the family, in each of their videos that they have posted, they've said, we just want to know that our mom is alive. That's something they've reiterated over and over and over. Just today, the FBI saying in a statement that it has agents, analysts, professional staff that are working around the clock in the search for Nancy Guthrie. And they believe, her family and investigators say they believe that she is still out there somewhere. But she's asking viewers to report anything strange or unusual to law enforcement, saying that they just need everyone's help. So that's the very latest on that. There haven't been a lot of new developments. The latest, though, being that new deadline has now passed, with unfortunately still no answers as to where Nancy Guthrie is nor what has happened to her. So there's been a lot of interest in that case. It's one that we're still following very closely as those developments come in through NBC News. We'll work to get them to you on air and online. We'll have those at 10 and 11 as well. We're also going to get weather updates for you during our newscast tonight and on WSAZ.com, because finally, we've got a little bit of a warm-up that's happening for us tomorrow. And I think all of us are really going to look forward to enjoying that, maybe just being able to step outside for a minute and soak up some sunshine. It's been a while since we've seen it and a while since it's had a little bit of power behind it. So we're going to, I believe, get up into the 50s tomorrow, which will be really nice. So get out there and enjoy it. Again, just be very careful. We've still got a lot of ice out there, but hopefully a lot of that is going to melt tomorrow as we see that sunshine come out for a good portion of the day and heat things up for us a little bit. But we've got another storm that I know Tony and our team are watching very closely, our team of meteorologists tracking it. Things could still change, but during our briefing this afternoon, we were told this weekend could just be a rain event for us. So it sounds like we might need the umbrellas maybe for the later part of the weekend. But we'll leave that all up to Tony to get you caught up on that forecast. That'll be at 10 and 11, everyone. But that's a look at your Monday night headlines. We appreciate you joining us here at WSAZ Plus. A reminder, you can always get your headlines on your time here at WSAZ Plus by downloading it on your Roku device or any other streaming device that you may have. And you can also get us on WSAZ.com. As always, appreciate you tuning in here, everyone. For now, I'm Taylor Eaton. See you at 10 and 11. Have a great rest of your Monday night.